Stirring the coffee with chopsticks using the vortex method, the only true way to optimize the taste of your coffee. At the molecular level, good morning. Welcome to the Daybreak Show. I am the Sultan. We'll get started, but first, coffee. Nice. Triple Bastard Dark Roast. I'll put a link for it down below. A favorite coffee, a sponsor, an official sponsor of the Daybreak Show. Never a bad cup of coffee. Today I made it bulletproof style. Heavy cream, a tablespoon of high-fat Amish butter, and a touch of honey. That's not very keto of me, but this is going to be very satisfying for the morning, as I have to take somebody to surgery today and actually stay at the hospital as an emergency contact while they have surgery. So this will be good. And I don't get hungry until mid-morning. Just don't get hungry. Ready for an interesting show today? Quod nomine est. More pictures of women from dating sites with the 1,000-mile stare. My Lord. You know, like if you're on a dating site and you upload a picture, you kind of choose the best. You take a bunch of pictures, you take a bunch of selfies or whatever, and you choose the best. What possesses a person to post pictures that look like this? Keyword, possesses. That's why I said, quod nomine est. Some of you will get that. Are you married to a person with a drinking problem? The conversation that I had 2 nights ago with my friend Deborah explains a lot of that stuff. She recently was widowed as her husband passed from alcoholism, the real cause, malnutrition. So you definitely want to check that out. It's kind of like an underground runaway hit that you want to check out. In my wilder days, I dated a lot of separated, newly divorced, and freshly broken up women. And when I say dated, let's get real. People say, oh, I dated a few people. Dating just basically means this. Okay? That's just, dating is a euphemism for fornication. That's all it is. And I'm fully repented of that foolishness. But talking to them year after year after year, decade after decade, you got to realize I've been out there for a while. And before I was married, I was out there for a while. In their heart of hearts, they wish they could go back and fix the marriage and or relationship, unless there was hardcore abuse. Alcohol is always truth serum with women. A woman has a drink, a glass of wine or two, and she starts telling the truth. And it weakens her a little bit. Every guy knows that. Most women regret leaving their man. One thing that they all had in common, one thing, hormonal birth control, the personality that changes constantly. It is a problem. But every woman will find out for herself as her body count gets higher and she thinks that she's making a good decision. It's really the hormones making the decision. For instance, us guys, the older guys, tell the younger guys, make sure you use this head and not this head. And that is a reference to hormonal issues, horniness. Because if you use this head, it clouds the judgment that this head uses. We don't want to do that. We want to make sound decisions. In the same way, women don't have, there's not a female equivalent of use this head and not this head. There's not a female equivalent of that. That's why when people say, well, what about men or what about females? There's no dynamic equivalent. Men and women are different. They process everything different, from food to promiscuity to sexuality to thoughts of family to thoughts of children and such. Everything that women do is different than men. I didn't say better or worse. It's different because we are different. But women on hormonal birth control make decisions that aren't theirs. It's figuratively using this head. That's exactly what's going on. And I say to those women, good luck finding another man who loves and cares for you like your OG. What is OG? Well, as we all know in pop culture, OG is the original gangster. Or we can just say original guy. I'm just the messenger here. I didn't make this stuff up. Don't shoot me. They always regret making that decision. So ladies, go back to your OG if you get a chance. If the body count isn't too high, if you haven't racked up too many miles on the Hertz rent-a-car, go back to your OG. No one is going to love you and care for you like your OG. Nobody. I was watching Alpha M the other day. He says his wife helped him make millions. There's a problem with that. Not with him. Modern women aren't interested in your journey, your potential, or your struggles. They put themselves in front of men who are already wealthy, already seem to have it all, and can rescue them from their careers. The day of a woman sticking by your side as you build yourself up, as you go from a small apartment or a house to a beautiful private home with a built-in pool. The woman that sticks with you in that journey is gone. This ain't your mama and dad's marriage anymore. Women do not stick with men as they're working their way up the ladder. They want the men at the top of the ladder already. Women don't care about your struggles. They just wait at the finish line to bang the winners. And the sooner we get that through our heads, the more normal we're going to feel. Here's 10 reasons why modern women avoid marriage. Number 1, their parents had a crappy marriage. A lot of people think, I do not want what my mother and father had. So I'm going to avoid that. And almost in a sense of spiting or getting back at their parents, they don't get married, or they squeeze out one child at 40 years old, just with the last egg that they have. Number 2, relationship with their father is bad. I've had situations like that, and I knew that, and it always led to problems. Number 3, brainwashed by feminism and Westernism. If she has running water, she's a modern woman. Feminism teaches women to identify the career ladder and start working their way up it. Along the way up the ladder, they do things and say things that they always regret in the future. I remember one gal telling me she literally was brainwashed and that she didn't know about being domesticated and being a wife, and wasn't inspired to be a wife and a mother until she met me. And eventually it became too much for her to handle, so she went back to the life of another life, the former life. She couldn't handle it, went back to the brainwashing. Number 4, married to her career and the ever-changing work environment and the titillating experience with coworkers, other men, and business travel. My God, how fun is that? Whee! On the merry-go-round. Ooh, queen of the world. Boss babe. Yes, queen. Number 5, not realistic about their decreasing market value. As my market value goes up, I had a woman yesterday, a follower of mine. She's now 35. I said, are you married with babies yet? She says, no. I said, what's the matter? She says, I live in New York City. Men don't even ask women out anymore. I thought that was interesting. I go, what exactly are you looking for? She says, someone my age. She says, unless they look and act like you. 35-year-old girl. Yeah, can you see me with a 35-year-old girl? That would work out well, wouldn't it? At this point, well, like I did 5 years ago, I made a decision to not be with a 30-year-old woman. Okay, I'm 63 now. So at 58, a 30-year-old woman was interested in me. Beautiful. But, duh, how stupid can you be to go there? I know there's a lot of people doing it. De Niro just did it. Pacino just did it. They just had babies and in their late 70s and 80s. Yeah. Do I want to be married and maybe crank out some kids? Yeah, I do. I'm physically able to do so. I'm going to live to 105. It's not an issue for me. But, no. Too young. Too young. Most women do have a decreasing market value. you guys know if you're on any kind of dating site, it's embarrassing. It's actually embarrassing. It's rough. And guys, I'm going to make a true confession here. Once you start dating a younger woman, you can't date women your own age. You can't do it. You just can't do it. It's unbelievable. You can't do it. I hate this. And I'm not putting anyone down. I don't want to be like the rest of the guys on YouTube that say, oh my God, have you seen this one? Or what do they call women? Post-wall women. I don't want to be that way because I have female followers. I have a daughter. I have a mother. I have female friendly acquaintances because you have no friends. You have friendly acquaintances. I don't want to be the guy that like puts people down. Not interested in that. But the reality is decreasing market value. I find my market value is going up. And not just in my head, but I am a more desirable person because of my wealth, because of my physicality, because of my mindset, because of the things that I can do. I set my mind to do things, I get them done. Like, no excuses. I just don't have, like, I take extreme ownership of everything. Zero excuses. My excuse box has nothing in it. I can do anything I want. I feel like zero limitations. Number 6, married to their parents and afraid to leave, cleave, and be subject to the love of a good man. You know, Scripture talks about husbands love your wives, wives submit to your husbands. Women get so jammed up about the word submit. Women just think that marriage and relationship is just a roommate that they have sex with, that they trust. And they'll just date that person until whenever, until it falls apart or until the hormones change. Let's get real. You guys have been there. And you women, if you're honest with yourself, you know what I'm saying is true. I'm not saying anything different than I did 7 years ago. Time for some more coffee. Scripture talks about leaving the parents, cleaving to the spouse, cleaving, enmeshing, becoming one. The word submit literally means to be subject to. So when Scripture says, women submit to your husbands, let me just clear this up here. Just, you can relax. What it's really saying is this: be subject to the love of your husband. In other words, let him love you. Let him love you. How beautiful that is. Women hear the word submit, and all of a sudden they think like they're on their knees and the guy is just like whipping them or something like that, or they feel like they're a piece of property. That's not what it says. It's be subject to the love of your husband. What woman wouldn't want to be the recipient of her husband's love? Proverbs talks about that. The other men at the gate of the city is like, I'm just trying to think what would be the equivalent of the city gates today. Just maybe a place where men hang out. The city gates were a place where men congregated. They talk about his wife, of how good she is. What a blessing for a man that other men will say, yeah, she's a good wife, man. You found a good one there. Her children rise and call her blessed. That's a beautiful thing. Women don't think that today. Her children rise and call her blessed. This is Proverbs 31:29. Many women have done excellently, but you surpass them all. Isn't that beautiful? Can you imagine saying that? Imagine that being a Valentine's Day card or a birthday card, or written on a Post-it note and stuck on her mirror before you leave for work, or put it on the kitchen counter. Many women have done excellently. Like, I'm not putting down other women. There's a lot of other women who have done excellent things. But you, my dear, and my love, my wife, you surpass them all. That's the ultimate. Gentlemen, if you're married, I want you to look up Proverbs 31:29 and write that down and figure out when you're going to leave that note and where you're going to leave it for her. I'm not blue pill in any form or fashion. I just love my wife. And she loves that I love her. Number 7, of the 10 reasons why modern women avoid marriage is they lost the ability to bond because of sexual misappropriation of their bodies. They are blind, deaf, and numb to a good man when they encounter him. Breasts were made for suckling by babies. Vagines were meant to have a man's parts inserted to deposit seed to create a baby. After that, pleasure. But then there's women who bypass all that stuff and just go for the pleasure. The boobs are put up. There's the cleavage. Men will always let you down, ladies. Men will always let you down. That's why I tell the ladies all the time, go back to your OG. Good luck finding a man who's going to love you like your OG and care for you like your OG. So they lose the ability to bond through sexual misappropriation of their bodies. Some people say, well, after six men, then they lose their ability to pair with a man. I say after the first or second guy, the first or second eggplant that enters you, you start losing your ability for sound judgment. Blind, deaf, and numb to a good man when they encounter him. How many good men just got thrown away like garbage in a woman's life? I know because I've dated so many women in the past, who, when they get a drink or two in them, they talk about how they regret doing what they did. The more hardened ones with the 1,000-mile stare, they can't admit anything. They're so hard. At number 8, their priorities are off. They want to climb the ladder. Ladder to what? Imagine getting to the top. I know women who are CEOs that are worth multiple millions. And I'm talking like over 100 million. CEOs. I know women that are supermodels that are on the front of magazines. I've dated and had them all. And they're all empty. And you know what they all appreciate? Me bringing them a cup of coffee in the morning. Going out for a cup of coffee, taking a walk. A simple back rub. Simple things. You think they want to be flown all over the world and be on a boat somewhere in Mykonos? International espionage. You know what they want? They want a man to bring them coffee, kiss him on the forehead, and say, I love you, honey. I'll be in the other room reading if you need me. Number 9, they are satanically independent and refusing to be subject to the love of their husband. Women, submit to your husbands. Women, be subject to the love of your husbands. I'll even paraphrase it even further in modern language. Ladies, let your husband love you. To not do that is to be influenced by evil forces. And number 10, lack of marriageable, leadership-oriented men. Now, this is where the men come in. Lack of marriageable, leadership-oriented men with sound judgment and vision for the future. I have a vision for my future. And sometimes it gets thwarted a little bit, and I get thrown a little bit off course, and then you got to create conditions where you get back on course. But I do understand where women are in the sense that I'm not going to be one of these guys that realizes that I got to realize that I play a role in my relationships. Like in my failed relationships throughout my decades, the one thing they all have in common is me. So, is it all ladies' fault? Some. Is it all my fault? Some. So, what role, gentlemen, I'll talk to the gentlemen for a second, what role have you played in the demise of your relationships, no matter how good intentioned they were? And ladies who are watching, what role do you play in your breakups? That's why I keep saying, go back to your OG. He's going to love you like no one else will. I feel physically superior today than I did 4 months ago. 3 sessions of giving blood has energized the heck out of me. Tonight, I give my 4th session of blood. So what has improved since I started giving blood? My sleep, my mental clarity, my resilience. I'm stronger. I have improved post-workout recovery, my energy, my testosterone levels have actually rised. My biological age went down to about 39. Too bad the face can't go down to 39. But the reality is this. I am swearing by this dumping iron or bloodletting. And, of course, I have a O-positive blood type, which helps the most amount of people. But the reality is, giving blood, I give it for one reason. And that's for longevity and health of me. The second reason happens to benefit other people. And with the modern Red Cross monitoring system, I can see in real time where my blood goes, what hospital it goes to, and what kind of person it helped. So that's kind of a cool little benefit, but I don't do it for that. I do it for me. Start giving blood, gentlemen, every 6 to 8 weeks. I would say about every 8 weeks, every 2 months. You will feel better. It is amazing. I've had autoimmune issues practically disappear because I have donated blood every 2 months. Give it a shot. Read P.D. Mangan's book called Dumping Iron, Reducing Ferritin Levels in Your Body. My numbers don't lie. My blood work doesn't lie. I love this meme where Becky, the Stacy, the woman, not Karen, but Becky, says, "You'd really work your ass off all day so I can spend my time keeping our home beautiful and raising our most loving kids?" And Chad says, "Yes." It's not an issue. It's not an issue. Yes, we will be happy to keep you at home, make babies, provide for you. Yes. Yes. Let me get in the Chad position for a second. Yes. I will say this, though, that all women do monkey branch. They never let go of one man without having a grip on another man. As soon as they have a grip on another man, then they can let go of OG. All of them do that. Women do not leave you to go to a convent. They don't leave you to become a nun. No woman leaves you only to have a void and an emptiness. This is why she can love you, accept your gifts, get naked for you, send you daily breast pictures, only to hypergamously dump your muscular ass the next day. She can technically say, "Oh, I was always loyal to you," right up to that moment. Another game that they play, they get very technical about that. "I was always loyal to you." In other words, I didn't bang anyone. I was talking to 5 guys, but I never banged anyone. Whether it be Anze, Pavel in sales, or Oliver, they're already in her sights. And I've had nice, friendly conversations with her, traveled for business with her, been on Zoom calls with her. The times that she was talking to her nephew, she was talking with him and planning a lunch or a day trip and saying yes to coffee. That always leads to this right here. Always. There's only one reason why a man wants to spend time with a woman, and that's for this. There's only one reason why a woman wants to spend time with another man, and that's for this. Someone has to tell the truth. It might as well be me. Women always have 1 to 3 backup plans. You might have been one of her backup plans for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And she probably pleasured at least minimum of one of those backup plans. Truth, gentlemen, is freedom. My brother, you need to know this. One guy called me Breakup Recovery Bra. I think that's a pretty funny nickname. I actually put that on my Twitter. I am Breakup Recovery Bra. I know how to help people get through shit better than any human being I know. There are hundreds and hundreds of testimonies like, wow, George said the right thing at the right time. The only people that have disagreed with me about the monkey branching are, guess what? Women. Men know better. Does spinning plates have to mean that you're having sex with multiple women? For the Christian man, that means no. But spread out your emotional capital if someone flakes on you. You know why? If a relationship doesn't go anywhere or end badly, you lose a finger, not your whole arm. Keep that in mind. Breakup Bra can help you. Breakup Bra can help you with a breakup or with a divorce. Nobody does it better than me. And I'll end with this, my gentleman, my brother, my bro, bruh, and bruv. Make yourself attractive. Keep yourself attractive. And you might say to yourself or say to me in a group or in an individual session, but I was doing all the right things. I know you were, my brother. I know you were. And I got your back. And with that, finish your coffee, and I'll see you on the next Daybreak Show, your home of sanity, clarity, and reason.